Hello, Leo, and any and all Leo placements. Welcome to your collective reading. Like I said, this is going to be for any and all Leo placements. This is a general collective reading, so you can watch this at any time you feel called. If you are watching it on YouTube or if you're watching it live on Twitch, please always take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We all know. We all know the drill. Oh, is this 3 cards? Hold on. I think I messed that up. We're just gonna make sure. Always like to make sure. It feels a little too hasty. And there's a sense to be slightly not too hasty. It's a little, feels like, dot all your I's, cross all your T's, but, like, deeper than that. Like, oh, we can do that, just double check, you know? I feel like a big advice for Leos is, like, always double, even triple check your work if you feel like you need to. So, I would like to get clear, honest message for any and all Leo placements. Oh wait, we're gonna clarify with this deck. That's why I was holding on to that. I really want to clarify with that deck. That's why you busted out all those cards. We're working with the Hermetic Tarot, and then we're gonna clarify the Hermetic Tarot with the Wildwood Tarot. Alright. Out the gate. Knight of Wands. Lord of Flame and Lightning. Is that a... oh. Interesting. Knight of Wands, for anyone who's not familiar with tarot, is needing to move full force into something and put all of this passionate, like, fiery energy. Like, when we talk about, like, fire and wands is always, like, anytime you do see fire in the card, it always is going to symbolize this level of fire and passion we have within us. Like, everyone has it for something, and even someone in our lives. And silly enough, we were talking about the Hermit on stream earlier, so I want to reference that for anyone who's gonna watch this on YouTube later. The Hermit card came out, and some Leos in the chat were talking about some hermits. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger. Don't ask. I don't know either. I'm just the messenger. I just interpret, and then the rest is for you to take with you. Take with you as you go. Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I want you to notice what is around this giant, like, woven circle. You see how there's, like, it's like a woven basket almost, like looking a bird's eye view on it. What's around it is all these, like, beautiful flowers and stuff. This is very symbolic for ancient symbolism, so if you see a lot of symbols that look, oh my god, it looks bad thing. It's bad people turned normal symbols into bad symbols. Oh my goodness, it's satanic. This is a great card, though. This is a card of great initial start to growth. Knight of Wands, the Hermit reversed, the Fool reversed. Here. Show you the cards, how they came out, and then we will show you them upright. Any imagery that pulls you in, please take note of it. I know I'm not giving you much time, but these are being recorded, so you can always go back and pause. So, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? There's stages to life, obviously, but not just life, to aspects of our life. And, an aspect of your life currently at this moment, Leo, has been healing. There's a lot of healing. And it almost feels like organizing to heal. I feel like you've been on a really strong, firm track to keep this method, or not method, but machine of healing working, or the gears at least turning. It doesn't matter how slow they're turning, they're just turning. That's all you care about. So, when you know that the gears are turning, that means you know the healing is in progress, essentially. So, needing to be open to the part of you're not always going to be in a healing stage. You're going to be in a stage of not just enlightenment, but to enjoy your enlightenment. And what I mean by that is you've learned a new thing, gained a new perspective in life, and actually taking that in and going out, and when you're doing something fun, you're like, oh my god, this is having me have a whole new perspective on this fun thing, and taking in that moment. That can also essentially not only be healing, but it's that stepping out of healing, because the healing is to clear out the bad. So when you step out of the healing stages, you can go and fill yourself up with the good stuff of life, the things you like, the things you love to do, all of that goodness. When you step into the healing stage, okay, we're releasing, and then now we're going to go out in life and fill ourselves up with whatever fulfills us. I usually see it as like a cup of fulfillment. But there's an energy of the more that you do this, the more that you fill yourself back up. You release what doesn't serve you. You fill yourself back up with what you like, what you love, what serves you. This constant, consistent motion is watering a plant within you that you didn't even realize you were watering. And I feel like this is the sense of growth that is being sought after and is being done unconsciously. Like, you don't even realize what you're even capable of in the moment right now. I feel like it's a lot of, oh, I didn't realize how good of a job I did until I stepped back and looked at my work, kind of a thing. I feel like that's the energy that you're experiencing right now. So the Ace of Pentacles is earth energy, right? Whenever I talk about filling up your cup, your heart, your soul, the Ace of Cups, or a cup, would be out here somewhere, right? We'll say that kind of looks like a cup. That kind of looks like a cup right there, like in the focus, right there. It's a flower. Earth energy. Earth energy. Stay with me. Metaphors out the ass here. Stay with me. Earth and earth. And when I talk about, oh, we have to fill our cup with stuff. Sometimes our cup has mucky water in it. All right? And the only way to get that mucky water out is sometimes either to clear out the muck, clear out the big chunks, and then fill yourself up with clear water. Does that make sense? In a big metaphor, I want you to just see if that makes sense anywhere inside your heart and in your mind space. This watering you're doing is also watering the grounds of like your life and your own sense of self. And the grounds of your sense of self and just yourself are, I want to say, for everyone, when you find your own sense of self, it's an unconscious thing for us sometimes. Like, you know how sometimes you can't understand yourself until someone, like, describes you, like, seeing you on the outside kind of a thing, seeing you from that outside point of view. There's certain things we can't see, but there's also, like, accepting that beautiful unconscious part of you, and it's like there's water being like soaked into this unconscious sense of self, and it's the most fertile ground to grow from. And I feel like there are things growing that it's like you need to trust the process, because I feel like you see some things already growing here. You see some passion to move towards this sense of growth. There's a passion for it now. You see, oh, look, there's actually buds growing here. Look at that. It actually did something. But there's all these clouds down at the bottom. And it's like smoke and mirrors almost, but it's not smoke and mirrors. It's, hey, there is just fog down there. There's like fog right above that fertile ground I was talking about. And you can't really see what's growing yet, but there is a lot there that you have to genuinely trust the process, because if you clear out that fog, it's going to confuse what's trying to grow. I want you to understand how all of this is a big metaphor. Please understand this is a big, big metaphor for just your heart, your soul, your mind space, and just, I feel like, a big, big part of your heart. The fertile soil of your heart, or your sense of self, your unconscious self, of just like, oh, you go out, like, things when you just, like, go out, you just do things unconsciously. You don't even know why. You're like, I like that thing, I'm gonna go do it. That part of you, or when you are yourself in that moment. Think back to those moments. If it's hard to think of any moment currently, just think back to a moment. It doesn't have to be anything recent. It could be 10 years ago that you felt like that. Who cares? There's a greenhouse effect that needs to happen in this fertile soil. That is that fog. So it's a big metaphor of you need to also not understand what's going on unconsciously to trust the process even more. It's like when you walk into unknown parts of yourself, you aren't going to understand everything at first. You need to see everything and observe everything for what it is. Let things kind of brew and even marinate in your mind. Collect information, take mental notes as you go, and then things will start making sense. You're not going to finish a 1,000-piece puzzle when you take the puzzle freshly out the box. You're not going to finish it in 10 minutes. That's just not how that works, okay? There are speed puzzlers out there. They do like speed puzzling and try to speed run a puzzle. I don't even think, like, they have teams where people split up into teams and like do a whole puzzle like in one team, and that don't even take 10 minutes for them. They take like 30 minutes still. You have to give yourself time, and I think that's a big, like, strong ask for some of you, because you are a fire sign. You're just quick. And anytime you find yourself being a little too quick, pull back on the gas pedal a little bit, kind of a thing. You don't want to wear out your horse here. Your horse of vitality and courage and courageousness. You don't want to burn it out all in one go. Because the hermit journey is a process and a cycle that we constantly find ourselves in of, oh, we need to recognize and enlighten ourselves on some things that we've possibly been ignoring, and oh, maybe we've just forgotten about some things that we need to enlighten ourselves on. there's always I love this egg depicted because the egg is always a symbol of rebirth, but an egg doesn't just hatch right when it's like a chicken. Like when a chicken lays an egg, that egg's not just gonna hatch right out the gate, right out the chicken's wherever it comes from. That egg is not gonna hatch. It needs time to grow. It needs time to incubate, you know? You need to give that time to yourself, and that's where that constant, like, release, fill yourself up again. Release, fill yourself up again. Like, you have to trust in this motion. There is no other way through this process other than to trust the process itself. If you want to make it through this process easy, then you got to trust it. And give yourself time. Accept that time. Because, listen, if you are... I don't blame you for being impatient. Because it's like, oh, I understand it. I understand I'm not supposed to understand. I get it all. Why can't I just feel better now? It takes time for your body to feel better. Your human holds on to trauma. Your body will hold on to trauma. That's why there's things like PTSD, where veterans will hear sounds of, like, I don't know, some random metal clanking around, and they're back in that combat scenario, and it was all just random sounds. Like, the brain and muscles, your brain is a muscle. It holds on to trauma. Muscles in your body hold on to trauma. Being aware of that is so much beneficial, so much more beneficial in trusting the process, because it's like, oh, I need to give myself and my human body time. Like, you literally need to give your body time. Like, your body's been, like, mentally and emotionally working, and it's strain on the body. I actually have a mild, very close to having a heart condition situation with my heart, because I had a lot of anxiety that I would literally just, like, hold my breath when I would have anxiety, and it would fuck up my heartbeat, so it caused an irregular heartbeat for a time, and I've been conscious of just the breathing is so beneficial. It is so beneficial. I want to get the clarifiers for these next cards here. However many you want to lay out, we're just gonna lay it out on the board. What do we got here, Leo? Clear, honest. Clarification. What do we got for the Knight of Wands? Six of Wands. Four of Swords reversed. Ooh. Y'all been having weird dreams lately. Y'all been having weird dreams. And if you've been feeling a little more, like, woo-woo spiritual than normal, and you're, like, kind of like, this is kind of cringy, or I don't know about this, this feels a little silly, goofy. Spirituality can feel silly, goofy, because it's like doing yoga. We know yoga's good for our body, but we feel weird doing the downward dog, okay? Every human's gonna feel weird in that position. The downward dog position in yoga is actually so beneficial for your body, but it feels so strange. And we can all just accept it as human beings. But I think we need to just allow ourselves to understand that, okay, if we are going to benefit ourselves, we gotta get a little uncomfy. We gotta eat our veggies. Even the veggies that, like, you don't have to eat veggies you don't like. But if there's a veggie that you're like, I could kind of eat it, but I don't really wanna, but I know it's good for me. Eat your damn carrots. And when you eat your veggies, look up the nutrients and literally just keep mental notes of carrots are good for your hair, skin, and nails, and even your eyes. Carrots are always good for your eyes and hair and nails, all that stuff. Tomatoes are good for your gut. There's a lot of spices, like ginger. Spices are good for your gut. Not spices, and ginger itself is good for your gut. Clove spice is good for your gut. Peas have a good source of iron in them. If you need more iron in your diet, you can not only have red meat, but you can eat peas along with red meat and have just a very, like, iron-rich meal. And just making small changes. Like, it's not just, like, health. It's just, like, shifting these small changes in how you handle these, I don't really want to, like, do this silly woo-woo thing and be, like, kind. I guess I'll be kind to myself, but it's, like, it feels dumb, you know? You gotta feel silly for a second. There's a second of, like, you gotta feel uncomfortable in order to find the comfortable again. I want to get this last card for the Knight of Wands, and if you want to we'll keep going here. I just want to show the cards. It's the last card for the Knight of Wands. Queen of Pentacles. So, Six of Wands says abundance. Four of Swords says rest, and the Queen of Pentacles is bear. This is clarifying the Knight of Wands. I love the art on these cards. Super pretty. Oh, focus, please. Bows are wands, arrows are swords, for context, if you're reading the cards. The Four of Swords was reversed, and it's telling me you need to not only give yourself time, but when you give yourself time to rest on these healings processes and this progress you're making, you are giving yourself more healing. So when you literally go and just sleep, your body is healing itself. So anytime that you are, like, feel like you are literally, like, hermiting and just being in bed and kind of taking a whole day to yourself, what you'd say is a lazy day, but you're just taking the day off, you know, giving yourself time, there is a reason that you kind of need this hibernating stage. You are hibernating in your heart, and it's in order to cocoon it into a beautiful butterfly. And I feel like you're having dreams of, like, breaking free and spreading your wings, metaphorically, you know? It just, that feeling of, I feel free. Whether you feel like you've just been having, like, daydreams about it, or you feel like your dreams have been feeling like, oh, I feel free here. Or something feels, like, freeing in a way when you are relaxing. I think that's, for some of you, you need to enjoy the freedom in relaxing. The Hermit. What's going on with the Hermit here? What is going on with the Hermits? Queen of Stones, which is also Queen of Pentacles, is very interesting because it always depicts the bear. I always see it as, hey, we need to take healing as seasons. Like, stages of healing are like stages of seasons, like season cycles. Like, you're gonna have times where it's gonna feel like winter, cold, barren, deserted, but how you hibernate and bunker down for that winter period in your soul, because there are certain times a year that, like, feel a little more touchy on the emotions than others. I know a lot of the times when it's, like, the holidays, everyone's got complications with the family. We don't all have a perfect family. Holiday time, and especially birthdays, get a little weird, and it brings up some old stuff, and This is where we got to take it with seasons, take it with cycles. If you are expecting winter to come, you need to prepare and give yourself time and comfort in that hibernation stage, because you know you need to hibernate. You don't need to always be out there in the cold in order to heal yourself. That's not how you heal. You heal in order to give yourself comfort to handle what is going on inside of you. You give yourself that comfort. You give yourself that direction. You give yourself that guidance. This is your future self and your younger self here. You give yourself that instruction. 10 of Swords. The Fool. The Fool is very interesting because the Fool is always like new beginnings, and sometimes it's like, hey, be careful about new beginnings, but sometimes it's like, we're a bit nervous about this new beginning. We're a bit nervous about, oh, hey, I was told my whole life that I can't rest, I can't be lazy, I can't stop working, I have to work in order to show my worth and show I have value, and it's like, no. The only work you should be doing is preparing to rest, giving yourself space. If you are working and making your space comfortable to relax and rest and even just help this healing stage, whatever you need, if it's spiritual things, if you mess with the rocks like I do, give yourself space and time with the rocks. But if you are working to give yourself time to rest, you can work towards that. There's nothing wrong with working towards that, because it's like working to put up those rocks here and give yourself a form of protection. That's what it says down at the bottom here, protection. Four of Pentacles. You'll see it here later. I want to get the last 2 cards out. Ooh, hold on. You are needing to shift from working in order to provide value and instead focusing on working to provide comfort and protection for your own self and emotions. There is a lot of fulfillment and genuine, like, benefits to how you heal and how you handle and trust this healing process when you give yourself the space and the comfort you need to trust the healing process. There's a key in all of it, you know, like, the key is to understand the motion of the ocean in order to follow the motion of the ocean. Ooh. And not even just motion of the ocean. If you're trying to take aim on something and you want to take aim and be super precise, you gotta be mindful of the wind and what carries the wind. How the wind could carry your heart and your soul. How the winds of life and the winds of emotions can carry you and your life and your soul. And how you pursue your life. Clarifying the Fool reversed. We have 4 of Pentacles, Page of Cups, the World. Will it focus again? I at least want you guys to, like, see it in detail. Because they're pretty cards. I'm gonna scoot up here so I'm not, like, straining myself too much. The seasons, look at the seasons in the tree. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. The world is like cycles, like waves, like days and nights, changing, shifting. We have to learn how to stop, find our ground, find that cliff. And sometimes that Fool card is that cliff of like leap of faith for yourself. Leap of faith in finding the motion. Finding your own flow in your soul, in yourself. The flow of your own heart, the flow of your own emotions, the flow of your own seasons and cycles. Because we all have seasons and cycles. The best way to describe it is the female body has that 30-day cycle. The male body, I believe, the male body, I think, has a 24-hour cycle, which is the similar hormonal cycle that women go through, but men go through in 24 hours, or the male body does, I believe. Please do a lot of research on that, but also it's very interesting to know that 30 days and 24 hours, how life can kind of shift like that. Sometimes things are very, oh, this cycle is long, but then this cycle is every day kind of a thing. Work with those. Understand, take a note, understand all of the cycles and the seasons within you, because this is the pure trusting the process, and you're understanding it. This is you kind of really cultivating a true understanding of the Hermit process. The Hermit is a card of us going within, us discovering deeper knowledge of ourself. And we always return to this Hermit energy to really gain inner knowledge and inner wisdom of ourselves. But we don't know that's what we're doing when we randomly enter the Hermit stage, when life kind of throws us into these dark stages and we're like, why am I all in my emotions? And when we truly come to terms with, oh, we're here to recognize our emotions and understand them, acknowledge them, and work through them. How you work through them is going to be different for everyone, but, oh, we never talked about the Hermit, but that's where I think that it was on purpose. I never talked about the clarifiers for the Hermit because I saw the four of Pentacles, and it was perfect for what I was talking about in the moment. So we're gonna roll with it. Clarifying the Hermit card, we have the Page of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. So we have the King and Queen of Pentacles out here. King of Pentacles and Three of Pentacles. I want you to see the Three of Pentacles as you working with yourself. But you working with yourself has been a long time coming. The Page of Pentacles, this Lynx here, is very perceptive, very cautious. There's nothing wrong about wanting to creep up on your emotions and try to get a full observation of them. Because I feel like you yourself are a big, strong, like, wolf. Don't try to be too Gen Z or Gen Alpha when you think of this wolf. There's a lot of brain rot memes out there, but it's more of that strong, I am a firm, like, leader and provider for myself energy. And I do it because all I have is me, myself, and I. Three of Pentacles, creativity. So, you're not wanting to hurt yourself here, you're just wanting to understand yourself, so you gotta be creative in how you approach this wolf. Because a lynx and a wolf aren't really gonna be best friends when they first see each other. They're gonna just look at each other like, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? It's like, I'm you, and it's like, I'm you. What do you mean you're me? I'm you. And this is the different stage of life and healing in your life that I think you're going to enter. The more creative you get about being in tune with yourself, the more you're going to find these cycles easier for you. But this next stage of what is kind of lurking and what you're kind of observing here, this information you're collecting, is the information you're collecting is all on how to bring these two parts of yourself together. You have a page and a king. Take the animals out of it for a second and just look at how we have a very youthful energy over here and a very like stern, father, older, more mature energy here in the king. Looking at your older self and your older self looking at your younger self, but it could be you from 2 days ago. It could be you from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 minutes ago. Any part of a younger you that you are looking at needs to be recognized. When we talk about inner child healing, when it comes to spiritual stuff, it's not just inner child. It's inner past. Inner past me. Any part of our lives, at any moment in time, any moment in our own personal history. That is what true inner child healing really means. And I think that is a big cure for some people who are like, I need to work on my childhood. But what about your teenage life? What about your young adult life? If you're older than me, I'm only 25, you know? What if you're like 50 years old and you're thinking about when you're 30? Like, there's so many different like sections and chapters of our lives that could be our younger selves, and we need to focus on that. It's not just about our child, like our inner child. It's about so much more, and giving yourself even more credit than just focusing on your inner child, because your inner child doesn't just have your inner child too. It has your inner teen, your inner young adult, your inner like adults, first beginning stages of adulthood, you know? Well, not like beginning stages, just like when you turn 30 basically and you are considered, yep, you're an adult now. 30 is that like that cutoff, you know? And I feel like you've been running around like a lost soul, but this hasn't been you running around like a lost soul. This has been you hearing the inner call of your true self. What I'm seeing in this like howling at the moon kind of imagery is like that howl. You feel like you've been howling, trying to find yourself, and it's like, no, that howl, when you stop, it's actually like coming from within you, and it's so weird. It's like hearing a howl in the distance that's also within you at the same time. I don't know how to explain that. That got really confusing for me for a second, so I don't want to confuse anyone. Whatever makes sense, okay? Please allow yourself to focus on not just the abundance of, oh my god, this fire and these people this feels so good, you know? I'm recognizing all this good stuff, and this fire is gonna last us so much longer than the other fire. We gotta get more like tools for our fire. And it's like, hold on, take a second, take a breather, have an orange, have a pear, have a grape or two, take a seat. Why don't you hang out by the fire, you know? Take a quick nap. Doesn't have to be for long, but then you can get back out there. That's the giving yourself time. That's the giving yourself rest. And I think that's the biggest thing that needs to be recognized here for Leo. So, thank you for letting me read your cards and listening in. Thank you for just pursuing this true like life of healing and happiness and healing. Because I think you're just trying to find happiness and healing is the biggest thing. Like, it's so hard to be like, I'm healing myself. This feels good. But no, healing yourself is you feeling like shit and then trying to tell yourself that that's okay and then to comfort yourself. It's not an easy task, but you, I feel like, are being very much guided and just trusting that you can find happiness in healing, because that's the whole point of healing, right? It's kind of what you're telling yourself. You're like, that's the whole point of healing, right? I'm supposed to be happy in this. Supposed to enjoy this part, right? Yeah, you are. You're not fucking wrong. You ain't dumb. All right? Don't think for 1 second that you're being stupid about this. You are not stupid at all. And if things seem very confusing right now, please look up metaphorical meanings for shit and even spiritual meanings. Take it with a grain of salt. Look at different articles, look at different things, different research will guide you different ways, and just you can get a collective understanding. Take things you don't understand and see how maybe some weird metaphor could explain it, and then, oh yeah, maybe that weird stretch of a metaphor actually made some sense, and now you kind of feel a bit different about that past scenario, or maybe you have a different perspective on something now. And mental notes. Those are the mental notes you got to take in this healing process. So guide yourself, hold hands with yourself. You are your own teacher, and you are your own student to your own teacher, and you have got so much knowledge to give yourself. So trust, take your time, one lesson, one step at a time, one memory at a time, whatever it takes. I implore you to just take all the time you need. So thank you. Thank you, Leo. If you're watching live, we're not ending yet, but I am going to be ending for anyone who is watching on the YouTube, so thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next one. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day or night, wherever you are in this beautiful planet Earth of ours. And like I said before, I hope to see y'all in the next one. Peace.